Oh, we're there. What's up, everybody?
Good morning.
Morning.
Joe looks a little different today. His name is now Dusty Graham.
I'm thinner, more handsome, better looking. Stoked to be here with you guys this morning, man.
Indeed.
Joe's on dad duty, so Dusty's gonna fill in for him, and we've got Elias Soriano with us this morning.
Good morning.
Are you awake yet?
Yeah, absolutely. I wake up, I hit the ground running about 5:30 every morning. So
oh my God.
Yeah, I've already planted 3 rows of stuff in my raised box, so I'm hitting it. And I'm also daddy duty, so I guess is somebody else supposed to be coming in for me? Is that what happens for your interview?
We got like a backup. Well, my kids are both still asleep right now, and I fully expect there's Nicole. She's joining us from Germany right now. She's tattooing and listening along.
Good morning.
There's Joe.
Yes, I see.
Checking in with us.
I see she's got the Dogecoin. She buys Dogecoin with her.
She breeds Akitas, actually.
Then I apologize. She's smarter than I led.
Whoa.
Dusty is a big Doge guy.
I made some money. Let's not make some. Come on.
Have you made any money on it?
On Doge, yeah, I made a little bit of money. I got out while the getting was good, though, when it did what it was going to do. And
where'd you sell it at? Do you remember where you sold it at?
If I'm not mistaken, I sold it when it was close to 70 cents.
So you got it right out you got out at the top.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna mess around with that. It was unbelievable, and it happened so quickly. You turn, and then I put it somewhere safe. I got Ethereum and just one other altcoin, and I'm sitting back. I'm gonna just watch it happen.
That's where I am. I've been a hodler, I've been holding everything and watching it, and it got up there, and I was like, oh God, I want to sell it. But I made a bet with one of my buddies on a podcast. I'm like, I'm either going to zero or I'm selling it when it gets to $1.
That's what I planned on doing it when it got to $1, but then I heard the news about the Elon Musk thing and the Saturday Night Live thing about a week and a half before it actually happened, where people were talking about, hey man, watch out. And when people say, hey man, watch out, that's when I pulled my money. I did the same thing when people were talking about this, the market was going to crash. They were talking about it in January, February. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to move it while the getting's good. And that's exactly what I did. I lost a little bit when it kind of went a little bit crazy, but I just started trading recently. So I'm doing what I can.
I got into it in January, and I've been watching it, and I was doing traditional stocks more because I understand that a little bit better, and I was paying attention. But I was like, if I'm going to play a slot machine, because that's kind of what it feels like to me, investing in a way, I'm like, I'm going to play with volatile stuff. And I started watching the cryptos, and a traditional stock goes up 2%, 3% in a day, then it goes down 1%.
Yeah.
And it doesn't get my blood pumping enough.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
well, it has to make you nervous.
Yeah. For me, it's it's when am I allowed to swear?
Of course.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So for me, it's really when a CEO or somebody for the company is busted, in a pedophile ring, and all of a sudden the stock takes a horrible shit. With DeFi and things like crypto, it's volatile, yes, but it's because a lot of people understand the future of it and they're putting their money into it. So the value of what it is versus of what it's going to become, of course, it's a little bit valued different than, and then people that, whales and people that don't understand, that want to move the money back into the dollar, which it really isn't doing all that great. if they want to do that, great, let them do that. But for people that are young enough to understand that where the future of all this is going, we understand to make money here and there to pay for your time and your education on it, but leave some in there because it's definitely going to do something.
That's what it feels like to me too, is like I feel like when I'm investing in this stuff and I do make mistakes or whatever and I lose some money and I buy something at too high or whatever, I kind of don't get too butthurt about it because I feel like I'm almost like paying for an education in a way, because I'm doing it and I'm learning it and I'm making the mistakes and stuff.
It's building well for your children and for your future and your family, and also to take care of your friends and stuff. If you don't have a family, you like to take care of yourself. So
yeah, see, I have a tiny little bit in Doge and I bought like a little too high, so now I'm kind of like it's not doing anything for me. But then I was like scrolling through looking for stuff to kind of put my money in, and I saw Roblox and I was like, man, my kid's all about that.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of other people's kids that are all about that. So I bought into it and it went up like $30 after I got in. And then I told somebody else about it and it went up another 10% the day they bought in. And I was like, I'm just going to stay right here.
JP Morgan's going to be calling you soon. You're going to have to give up your podcast and you're going to have to start investing for JP Morgan. Well,
I mean, I'm getting my securities license here in like the next 60 days or so. So anybody that needs stock tips, I'm going to be your person.
That's awesome.
So what's going on with you, Elias? Like you guys got new music out?
You guys have a lot going on.
Yeah, new music is out. We just went independent. Ruthless is doing well. It's number 30 on Media Base and going up. So that's wonderful. Fastest moving single in our history. So 20 years.
Really?
Awesome.
That's pretty amazing. Yeah. And getting ready to do some shows and booking a tour right now, putting something together, knowing that the future, everything's going to be opening up. So that's the goal.
So are you hearing that across the board pretty much? Like everybody's feeling pretty comfortable with booking out front and all that?
Yeah. I mean, we're booking far enough so we don't have to, we understand that the venues and everybody are going to do what they're allowed to do within their states, and we're booking our tour based on that. So
I got you.
Well, Kansas and Oklahoma and Texas give zero fucks about any of it. So
yeah, I know.
If you come through there.
Well, that's part of our routing. I'm almost certain, but it's we'll see when it comes in. I don't want to make any guarantees because it changes every day.
Yeah. Did you guys have to cancel a bunch of stuff when everything kind of went off the rails? Did you have a bunch booked?
We had a couple of festivals and some of them didn't even come back. It was right now it's a lot of last year stuff that didn't happen is going to happen this year. So concerts are definitely coming back.
Awesome. Yeah, I canceled a few shows. I'm an independent artist and I kind of travel around the Midwest and play like acoustic tunes and stuff. And I had to cancel some stuff and that bummed me out. But I can't imagine if you're actually like playing those big festivals, because I imagine no matter how many of those you play, they're still fun as shit to play. And I imagine you look forward to it,
It's really for the fans that we're doing that out there for. The big crowds, that's what they live for. So we live for that equally. The more that things start to open up, I'm sure we're going to be giving everyone a lot more options of things to do. So save your pennies. That's all I can say.
Save your Dogecoins.
Yes, Nonpoint does not accept Dogecoin.
That was going to be my next question.
But maybe Bitcoin, maybe Ethereum.
Do you think it will get into that eventually? Do you think you're going to be accepting cryptos for gifts?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think so too.
Well, Miami is already like Bitcoin central, and I grew up in South Florida, and I remember seeing those ATMs pop up, and now there's a whole bunch of them. So people are especially in places like the clubs. You got to think when you buy a beer and you sell someone your Dogecoin, and you sell some club your Dogecoin, they don't take the dollar and then all of a sudden that dollar stays a dollar. They take your Doge, and if it goes up tomorrow, they can sell out and make more money on that beer than they initially made. So it's a brave new world.
Yeah, because it could go the other way too. You know, like I'm in sales, and I'm in, I trade commodities, and it's like there's people talking about getting into taking payment like that. But it's like if I take, 10 Bitcoins for this truckload of product, there's a chance that could be worth 20% more or 20% less.
I know for a fact that probably someone is right now, and if they're not, I'm probably going to give them the idea, and this is probably going to be taken from me right here, but I'm sure someone's going to make something on the back end of sales at a club where you do purchase something and then it automatically goes into an account that watches, that's automated, that you drop your $1.50, and as soon as it goes there, if it's $1.50, it stays there until it dips to $1.49, and bang, it sells it. So that way they save their money. But if it gets up to like $1.60, I'm sure they'll sell there and make an extra 10 cents on your ass.
Yeah, they're like basically putting puts and calls in on it, like you would trade in a stock, and I think you have to.
Yeah, you set a top and set a bottom. You sell out at this point if it sells out, but if it goes up, keep going up until it dips.
Yeah.
Cash out.
Yeah, and then at the end of the night, their $10,000 ring at the bar is all of a sudden 12,000, 13,000, just because of, as they're closing out the night and setting up, there's an hour long of swing trades happening in there with their money.
Yeah, that's the weird thing about the cryptos is it's 24 hours a day. Like I find myself checking that shit more than I check like my Twitter. I'm like more, because I mean it's
like what's happening.
It's fun. It's just interesting to me to create passive income. You know what I mean? Like I'm just sitting around watching something happen with my money as opposed to it sitting in a savings account. Given it's volatile and it's a little bit risky, I don't put anything in there that I can't afford to lose. Like my family's not going to starve if my Dogecoin goes down 5 cents. So it's interesting to watch that, like it's like streaming, you're making a passive income while you're doing it.
I say if you're under the age of 40, you need to get educated and you need to put some of your money into it. The wealthy are wealthy for a reason. They invest their money into investments, and they do a certain percentage, and they have a certain percentage that they spend on, real estate and on spending and all that stuff. And you should split up your money that way. When it comes in, you take a certain chunk, you set it aside, and you do something, you do research, and then you do something with it. But do something for your kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you get into the analytics side of your guys' music? Like, Joe's kind of joking with me because I like analytics. I'm a nerd about it.
Numbers are everything. For us, we're data hogs in the Nonpoint camp. We like to see where our fans are and where they're engaging, and we like to give them entertaining content and really think about the content. So we're that kind of camp where we're very detailed in what we do.
You've been you guys have been pretty successful for a really long time. That when I found out that I was going to be jumping on this show, I went back through and I've been a fan since Statement came out, so I'm familiar with everything you guys have put out for the most part. But like, how have you guys stayed so consistent over this long period of time? Because you see this like rotating door of members going in and out of, and I know you've had a little bit of turnover, but that's normal as people's lives change and everything like that. But like, how you guys have stayed pretty true to the Nonpoint, the Nonpoint brand for so long. Like, what do you attribute that consistency to?
I think it has a lot to do with our work ethic, and we try to put people into the camp that have that same kind of ethic. And we try to get people that we have chemistry with, because our stage show, it means a lot.
Yeah.
So when you see people come and go, also too, couple that with touring as much as we do. Yeah. When you weigh in all of those factors, it's hard to find that triple threat, and they come and go because they may not be as ready for it. They may not be as thick-skinned enough for it. They may think that it's a lot more partying and a lot less, going out and meeting people and saying what's up. We've survived the way we survived because of how hard we work. And, when I say hard we work, we just work. It's not really hard work. It's just, you got to do something other than just wake up and at 1 o'clock and pick what t-shirt you're going to wear, which, by the way, this is a badass t-shirt. This used to belong to my dad.
That is pretty rad.
Oh yeah, I was admiring
it. So that's how you continue is, you pay attention to the details and, you give a shit. That's all. Just got to give a shit.
You got to find people that give a shit too. And it seems like
surround yourself with people that care, and that you trust. That's a big thing.
Yeah. Cause you guys have always like your live show is 100% what, people will hear the music and they like it. But then when they see you live, that's the moment where they're just like, wow. And I've talked to other bands that have I remember, and it's been like 15 years ago, I was at a festival in Wisconsin and I was standing there talking to the singer from another band. I was like, you guys have a great crowd here. And he was like, yeah, it doesn't matter though. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, we just kind of phone it in. They know the song. They're going to sing along. It doesn't matter what we do. And I'm like, and They're not around. They're gone. Like that band is no.
And there you go.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's what happens when you take that kind of attitude.
Listening. Let me tell you something. Jesus was listening. He's like, all right, boys, if I'm gonna give you this here talent, you just gonna waste it away. I'm gonna take it away.
Exactly.
Universe that will do that to you.
Yeah. As soon as I heard him say that, I was like, I'm sorry, what?
Count your blessings.
You're gonna have to tell me about that after we get offline. I want to know who that was.
Yeah, I'll tell you who. Yeah, I'll tell you who it was when we're not live, because I don't want to. I'm still friends with a couple of those guys, but when their singer said that, I was just like, oh.
I mean, I've seen people phoning in quite a bit, and it's. I mean, just why tour?
Yeah.
People are gonna if you're tired, long tour, 5 shows in a row. I've done like 22 shows in a row once. Mm-hmm. Back in the during Bullet with a name.
Yeah.
Whole To the Pain thing. So I get it. You're having an off night. You're tired, but yeah, you don't want to be just phoning in every night, because that's.
Well, and as a fan, as a fan of music and as an independent music,
by the way.
What's that?
I love tribute too, by the way. I get to read the comments too. They're coming out.
Yeah.
I'm popping everything up I'm trying to pop them all up as I get them. I'm sure I probably missed somebody, but yeah, they, like I just don't understand how you could, obviously you're going to get tired and stuff. And I remember. I was telling Dusty before we started, I remember going to see you guys. It was this little bitty club in Dallas. And I had talked to Rob before, so I came walking up there, and you're like half hanging out of the van. And you're like, hey, I was like, somebody looks a little tired today.
Yeah, but like, how do you stay, because your live show is active, man. You're not up there just standing there with, like, I'm an acoustic guy, so I stand there with a guitar, and I mean, I can move around a little bit, but like, how do you keep yourself in shape for the road and like all the vigors of the road? How do you the rigors of the road? How do you keep yourself in shape for that?
I pace myself as much as I can, and I don't get too fucked up at the end of the night, especially when I know I got to stretch stuff. At the end of the day, that 1 hour is the most important hour.
Yeah.
And if you're not putting on a good show, people ain't gonna come again. And I enjoy that hour too much. I don't like seeing. I like to drink, but I like performing more than I like to drink.
Yeah.
Right.
And if I'm gonna have a bad night the next day after going as hard as we do, and people offer me a shot, I hand it off to a crew member or somebody that doesn't have to sing tomorrow, and or I just pass. But on days off, you bet your ass I'm partying my fucking ass off.
I love that.
Yeah.
I've made the mistake before, especially early on when I was playing. I play small, I play small clubs, small bars. Sometimes I play to 5 people, whatever. I try not to mail it in anytime. But I did get into a situation where I got real drunk before I played a show, and it was a real bad show. And I've never been more ashamed of myself the next day. I mean, I felt like I did something so horrible, and I was like, I got to book that venue again, and I got to go back there and get the stank off me because I really.
I've had 1 or 2 tipsy nights. I think I've never been so fucked up that I tripped a couple times, 3 times actually on Shiprock, but the boat was moving.
That's like you've got a little bit of leeway there because it's like you're on a boat. That's a different story.
But Ralph Sutton, my boy who does SDR, him and I probably finished off a half a bottle of Goose on the side stage, just waiting for us to start. So by the time I went on stage, I just grabbed the bottle out of his hand and took it on stage with me, and the rest is blurry history. But other than that, but see, that was still a good show. That was still a good show. Only bad show that I've ever had, Wasted. We were on the Head PE tour on their original lineup, and we were in New Orleans, and the drummer BC walked me down to the corner at this place called, I want to say it's Murphy's. I think it's Murphy's, but they used to make homemade Bloody Marys, and they made them with they grate the horseradish, and they had the pickled string beans, and all that fucking, they made their own Worcestershire. I don't know what
it's like a breakfast too.
It was goddamn delicious, is what it was. It was delicious, and I spent my afternoon there. Knowing that we had to open up for them, and my tour manager yelled at BC because I performed badly that evening in New Orleans. New Orleans House of Blues. I remember that.
That's I don't know. New Orleans is always I remember seeing Seven Dust and Boba Flex there one time, and the Boba Flex guys, I was like, are y'all going to be able to do this?
Oh, Boba Flex is, no, those guys can do it.
Oh, yeah.
Drinking
yeah.
professionals.
Oh, yeah.
They have a school that they bring people in and teach them how to play drunk.
Yeah, and it was, that was back way, that was what, 2004 or 2005. So they were I didn't know. And they were like, no, just wait. And I'm like,
yeah, the
okay.
Boba Flex boys were all born with those hats that hold the 2 cans. And
that's that whole thing being from West Virginia. They got this.
Yeah, good guys. I love those boys.
I remember seeing Devil Driver at the Beaumont.
This is a big comment, and Elias just disappeared underneath it.
Here, move him above me.
Let's see.
Put me on the bottom. Block
we'll
me.
Do this
there you
for
go.
Right now.
Get me on the bottom. I'm ugly anyway. We want him up there.
Says people understand when you're tired and have an off night. Nonpoint has always done their best, even if it wasn't the best they've even done. The fans know that, and I've only caught a couple of their shows. One of those was a midweek stopover, small market. They were tired, still gave 110%. Still a great show.
And there you go.
Yeah, I mean, I think even if you are tired or whatever, people can understand that. But if you're giving it everything you got, people can feel that when you're playing, And
listen, you see what Thunderstrike?
Yeah, you got to practice like you play, man.
Yeah.
Practice drunk, so he knew that was great. Can you put that comment back up?
I got you.
I used to specifically practice hammered because I knew I was likely going to be hammered when I played. Oh, man.
Light bulb just went on.
Nice. God bless you, Thunderhawk. And your name is awesome. It was awesome.
They are. I went. I remember seeing Devil Driver. It was Devil Driver and Napalm Death, and it was at the Beaumont in Kansas City. And I don't even think the Beaumont's open anymore.
Hey, look, it's me.
But,
yeah, the Beaumont. I don't think the Beaumont is open.
It's
anymore.
you guys.
But they.
it's probably my drummer.
I remember
Hi, Rob.
I remember Dez came out and he had a bottle of Jack Daniels in his hand, and it was just. And he was singing. He had the mic in one hand and a bottle of Jack Daniels in the other for that entire set. And I mean, I bet he drank 3/4 of that bottle, and he didn't even waver at all. So like the tolerance levels must be off the charts there.
Yeah, no, I'm good with that. I'm like three capfuls, and I'm singing. I'm singing the wrong
sea shanties.
Yeah, I'm a lightweight. I love it though. Hey, I'm a cheap date.
Yeah, definitely, man. It's better than like I can remember when I was like 25, I could drink like a case of beer in a day, and now
done a case race.
What's that?
You ever done a case race?
Probably. You're gonna have to explain the rules to me.
You and a friend, you pair up at a party. It's a huge party, college party preferred, because you can normally find lots of pairs of people. And the goal is you bring a case, and then you start the timer, and whoever finishes the case first shall win. And my team won. We finished it in 1 hour and 8 minutes.
That's a lot of beer.
A lot of beer in 1 hour and 8 minutes. And I have to admit, I did not drink all of my share. My friend was twice my size. He was like 6'4", and could blast through them quickly. So I drank 10. I drank 10. He drank the 14. So that was his. And I remember to celebrate. All right, to celebrate, we finished it, because what do you do when you celebrate? You drink.
Yeah, exactly what you did need to do.
We finished it with a fresh, brand new bottle of Mad Dog 2020.
Oh no!
Grape. I was a freshman in fucking college. Grape.
Did
now,
you?
Here's
Tastes
the wonderful
like
part
Dimetapp.
about that next day. Apparently, I threw up over and over and over again in the shared bathroom, because you got this suite over here and this suite over here, 2 rooms here, 2 rooms here. So 2, 4, 6, 8 people shared 4 stalls and 3 showers. I threw up in one of those stalls, and I painted it purple.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't get the stain out of the toilet out. It was purple for the rest of the semester, and that toilet smelled like grape throw up for about
6 months.
I mean, a solid 2 months. In Florida, hot ass.
Oh no!
Hot ass Florida. Dorm room on the very end, so the door was there, and our dorm room would get hot. Yeah.
Where did you go to school?
FAU.
FAU. What did you study?
Florida Atlantic. Computer engineering. I minored in musical theater.
Did you finish?
I got 3/4 of the way. I was 18 credits short.
Are you ever gonna finish? Do you care to finish?
I signed a record contract, and that was it for me.
I understand. Had I done it, I'd have done the same thing.
Yeah, well, you know what? I found out that it was for me, it was more of a hustle, and I figured out, I learned the basics. I was learning a lot of stuff that I wasn't getting gassed learning, like calculus, and when people say, hey, what's the derivative of e to the x, and you're like, I don't know, what the fuck, and they're like, e to the x, you're like, really? This is what I'm doing? It's like,
yeah.
Why don't you just tell me that? So for me, college was I realized that even though I was good at math and science in high school, it wasn't something that I wanted to do for the rest of my life. It interested me. So I love to learn about science, and I'm decent at math, but music gets my goat.
And you're so fortunate, man. You were at that age, and you had the wherewithal to figure out how to put yourself in position to get a record deal, because I don't think anything just happens by luck. You guys were obviously doing some. Was it really?
It was absolutely. You're absolutely wrong.
Okay. I love being wrong, man. It's cool.
No, I'll tell you why. It was luck, and it was because I had, I was living in Tampa. I had a falling out with a family member. I moved back down to South Florida. I got a job hosting at a restaurant. At the time, before that, I was waiting tables. I was making really good money, so hosting was very easy. Just walk people to the tables. Like, what the hell? I can never get in the weeds. So I was decent at it. So they paid me good. So I didn't want to get off it. So I would sing "Happy Birthday" and shit to old ladies at the restaurant. I swear to God, this is true story. I would sing "Happy Birthday" and I would sing it in Italian. And I did theater in high school and did like choir and stuff like that. So I had a strong voice. So it would fill the restaurant. And this Spanish dude, Hector, walked up to me. He's like, "Hey, man, you can sing pretty good. Why don't you come check out my band?" And that's how I met Rob, my drummer, and jammed with his band for a while. And about a year later, we had built up enough buzz in the scene, and with our new members that we had just added, and we got a chance to play a second stage for a big show at the time for this radio station called Zeta down in South Florida. It was a big rock station down in South Florida. It was the only one at the time. And so we played that show, and while we were playing that show, our soon-to-be manager, that we didn't know he was going to be our manager at the time, was sleeping in a van behind the stage getting ready to play with his band. We went on, people screaming and yelling, went nuts in the pit, da-da-da-da. We announced that we had free sampled tapes.
Oh,
cassette tapes, baby.
Wow.
I remember those days.
Yes, available at the booth, and we got rid of them in like 2 minutes. There was like 250 of them like that. And our manager was standing side stage by the end of the set. He wasn't our manager yet. We came off stage and he walks up to us and he goes, "Hey man, I know somebody at MCA that's looking to sign heavy bands just like you right now. Let's exchange numbers. I can help you guys out." I was like, "Sure." So we exchanged numbers, and
that was it, huh?
There you go.
We got lucky. We got right place, right time. But a lot of work up to there. It was a year and a half, maybe even 2 years. Rob will probably chime in here and correct me. If you see Nonpoint chime in and say, "Hey, all of that was wrong, Elias. All of the things were wrong." I'm sure they were.
Well, how did that? I mean, that has to be an amazing. I mean, that has to just be an amazing feeling, right? And you're like, wow, we actually just got a record deal on a major label, and like, this is what I get to do now for a living.
Well, we got
all wrong.
Yeah, all wrong. Yeah. So we got with the timing. It was probably 2 years or so. Yeah, there was work that happened after Jason spoke to us and started working with us. We started working our songs and started learning songwriting and really getting better at the craft. And and then the rest is kind of history. Rob will jump in here and he'll be typing everything. Yeah, 3 years. It goes fast for me. I attest. I don't really keep track of clocks or calendars, and it's really because I feel like it doesn't make me rush. It doesn't it gives me less anxiety, and it time is very relative.
Yeah.
So I feel like the less I stare at the clock, the younger. Look at this. All right, see this guy right here?
You look like when I saw you at the Ranch Bowl, man, back in do you remember the Ranch Bowl by chance in Omaha, Nebraska? You guys played, it was a bowling alley and a music venue.
I vaguely, but Rob will chime in and tell you exactly who played with us, what day it was, if it was raining or sunny.
It was you guys. I know it was you guys in Taproot, and you guys in Taproot were there. Who I was there to see.
Come on, man, that was like, what, 15 years ago?
A long time ago.
Longer than that. Longer than that. It was probably 20. It was probably 20 years ago, I would say. because I had just like turned 21 and I could just get into the shows and drink beer because I remember that show was like one of the first. See, he's
Here
got it
comes
all
Rob.
down.
He's like, "Yep, we got this."
Yeah.
And
Update from Ozfest. There you go.
And I don't remember who else played that night, but it was an eye opener for me, man. It was a great show. It changed my whole mind, and I was in a band at the time, and I was like, God damn, that's what I want to do. And obviously I've never done it on that level, but yeah, I was just curious if you guys remembered the Ranch Bowl because we've talked about it on our show a few times. So
Rob does, and he's the Nonpoint Almanac.
Yeah, that's like we were, he's sitting there. Rob knows everything. Rob does know everything. See, we got to get Rob in here sometime too.
Yeah.
We have it. It was funny because I was telling Dusty last night when I asked him if he wanted to sit in. I was like, I don't think I've seen that. It's been like probably like 12 or 13 years since I've been able to see you guys live. And that made me go, oh my God. Like, what is this?
So old now. Like
I was like, oh no.
I don't feel like I just turned 40 and I still feel like I'm a child. You know what I mean?
Same thing. Me and my wife were talking about it the other day. It's like I'm 46. I still feel like I'm 30. So why stop? Why stop?
No,
right? Exactly.
You can't stop. You got a lot of shit to do, man. You got new music to promote.
Yeah, man. The other interview actually just hit me up and made sure that are we still good for noon? I'm like, yeah, I'm still good. I'm like swiping up, stopping people from calling me. There's all sorts of shit happening on this side. You have no idea.
Right, like I've got my phone sitting over here, and it's just like
assistant over here. We have a Bev Center.
Do you still get excited like when you're? Do you still get excited when you're releasing new music? Do you still get the buzz and you still get the nerves and all that? Like, it never goes away.
It's a little more risk factor to it right now. With it being up to us, pass or fail. It's on our shoulders, and but it's exciting.
Did I read that you guys started your own label and you're releasing this under your own label?
361 Degrees Records. We're funding it right now with our pre-order. You can go to nonpointstore.com. Today's actually the very last day that you can get the bundle discount. If you put anything more than two things, in the cart, you automatically get a discount on everything. So
there you go.
Today, before midnight, 11:59 and 59 seconds, I'm gonna be like this over the button. I'm gonna shut the fucking thing off, and you guys,
you missed it.
I showed you. I told you all about it. You're live in the bunker, and you didn't hear me. You didn't listen.
But now they're going to be bitching to you instead of the label. Now they're going to be because it's you're going to be fielding all the Karen calls.
Yeah.
My assistant is in here making noise. Sorry. Hey, put it down, buddy.
That's okay. It's okay, bud. So yeah, we're gonna have our pre-sale. It's got the 7-inch that has Ruthless and the extended version of Dove's Cry on the B side. It's our first 7-inch ever.
Sweet.
And then we got a bunch of firsts. We got certificates. We got slides. We got a badass jersey. We have a rally towel. We got a giant plaque that gets your name engraved. Think, 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 think. It's pretty dope. So lots of good stuff.
Now, are you doing the engraving yourself?
With my teeth.
Wow.
Hey, I try to keep this guy.
I'm gonna go place my order right now.
Yeah.
Joe is our he's a huge vinyl guy. I don't know if you caught that, Joe, but they've got a 7-inch. And he's commenting right here. We do both have shows on SLE radio. So if you email us Ruthless, we will play the crap out of it.
All right. Well, yeah. We're on MediaBase. You can download it and get all that good stuff.
There you
go. Yeah. All access.
So, are you guys handling you said your radio success has been better than any other single so far. Are you guys handling your own radio promotion as well?
Our management team has an amazing team member on it. One of their partners, Bob Hathaway. He's an amazing radio. He's got a great. Hey, nice shirt.
Move over, you're in your underwear, dude.
He's got a great a handle on things and knows how to present the song. So everything is in place. We have, like I said, we have a really good team.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome, man. That's a definite feather in your cap, releasing something independently and knowing that you've worked with majors and all this other stuff, and this one's doing better than all those. There's got to be a new type of satisfaction with that, right?
Yeah, I mean, it helps to have a good song. You know, that's
Definitely.
that helps too. You know, I don't discredit any of my past former teams. They do what they do with the budget that they have and the traffic that's going on at radio at the time. You know, we're lucky that we have a good team, that we made a good plan, and that we released it the right way.
It's awesome, man. I'm inspired by that. It's nice to see, and it's nice to see you guys, like a big band like you guys, doing something independently too, and like wanting more control over it and taking pride in that. And it's, you know, it's something that I don't think a lot of independent artists put enough focus into, and that's why they don't grow as much. And I guess I'm no authority on the matter or anything, but I think it's important for artists at every level to put a little more effort into the business side of it. You know, the business side of it's is just as important as creating good music. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. It's definitely they work hand in hand. I'm sorry, I lost half of your question because it was.
Yeah, there's some paper or something getting crumbled around.
That's my child.
He
found a candy bag.
Just bumped out a little bit for a second.
Oh yeah, what I was. Go ahead. Sorry, dude. Sorry. Go ahead.
No.
I was saying.
Go ahead. Something works hand in hand.
The business side of it, you know, I don't think a lot of.
Yeah, it's good to be educated about what's going on with your business, and you know, you also have to be able to quickly change hats, so that way you don't let too much of the business side bleed into your creative side. That's probably my biggest obstacle is going from hat to hat, because I wear a lot of hats.
It's really hard to be creative when you're just focusing on the business, and I struggle with that too. Like sometimes I find myself I'm putting more effort into thinking about the promotion strategy than I am actually trying to be creative and work on the art itself. And I've been trying to like compartmentalize that, and it always seems to be a challenge for me. And a lot of the other artists I talk to have the same thing. Like it gets pretty exhausting sometimes doing the business side of it and the art side of it. And it's like the shows are the fun part of it. The rest of it is the work part of it, you know?
Yeah, I kind of like it. I like going from right brain to left brain over and over and over again all day long. You know, that's it. It kind of feeds my my energetic personality. I like to go from something very thoughty to something very creative and colorful and beautiful, or sad, or it's going from hard numbers and stark facts to poetry and rhythm and silence. It's funny if you look at the definition of music. It's amazing how music is rhythmically setting up cadence between sound and silence. And that's what makes music. So when you're thinking about things like numbers and strategies and stuff, you're working a certain part of your brain and a certain part of your life that when that you start to feel exhausted from there, you can shift your energy and your thoughts and your efforts to something that is fun, and that's what I love the most about the music business, is the fact that they're
Yeah, I tend to like the business side of it too. It's always intriguing to me to see how like something that I do or whatever, how it reacts. It's that there's just an interesting facet of that like when I put some artwork out, how are people going to respond to it? And if they don't respond to it well, for me, I keep track of all my numbers and stuff. And if it doesn't do well, it's like, okay, well, I thought that was great. What did I do wrong there? And kind of the trial and error in the business. And I imagine you guys have it dialed into the point where you kind of know what's going to work before you even do it.
No, I think that's the, it's all trial and error, and we all just do our best to understand our audience. And what we try to do is we think about it enough, but we try not to overthink it too much. We understand that there's a lot of traffic out there, and we understand that people are being force-fed quite a bit. So we try to make our efforts count, and we try to take the advice of people that we feel like understand our goals and understand our audience, and allow us to kind of lead things with our opinions and what we feel like is best for us. That seems to work for us. So I say just do what works for you, and don't look at our model and think that it's going to work perfectly for you. We have a lot of inner working things, and we've been doing work on this for years now, and so I would say just focus in on yourself, focus in on your music, get a smart team around you, and the rest will happen.
It's that whole getting a smart team around you thing that I have a challenge with. But so what's a traditional songwriting session like for you guys? Do you guys all get together in the same room when you guys write music, or do you send files around, or how does that work, or is it different every time?
Sometimes it's different every time. You never know how music's going to be made. You don't try to put yourself into a corner saying, hey, this is the only way I can write music, because I know some artists have microphones in their showers with a record button just in case, because that's where they seem to get most inspired. So I write music anywhere and all the time. I'm sure it bothers my wife. She hears me scratching my pillow, because I scratch it in rhythms when I'll be laying there, and I'll just have my hand on the pillow and scratching, or do the same thing with my foot. I'll be tapping my foot, and she'll have to say, hey, stop tapping your foot. I'm like, oh, sorry.
Do you wake up at like 3 a.m. sometimes and just have a hook in your head and you have to like go record it on your phone?
No, fuck all that. No, man.
No.
It's like, no.
I'm
not getting out of bed.
Oh, I do wake up a lot of times feeling inspired. I'll drink some coffee and be like, damn, dude, I gotta write music right now, and just do it. Yeah.
I find myself sometimes I'll come up with something and I'll wake up with something and I'm like, God damn, I gotta record this or I'm gonna lose it forever. And I'll go in my bathroom and kind of like whisper out a melody or something. And my wife's like, what the hell are you doing?
Yes, I do that all the time. I do that all the time. I'll be like, oh, talk to me. Shut up. I gotta remember this, and I'm running. That happens to me all the time.
We got Pigweed in the house saying hello.
Much love, Pigweed. I gotta go because they're blowing me up on the other line.
Yep, you got another one coming up.
One right behind it, busy dude.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us, and you guys always have an open invite. Anytime you got news, anything, holler at us. We're more than happy to have y'all.
Hit up Rob. Let's get him on here. He's
absolutely.
You could ask him some historical stuff, and he'll fill.
We'll get the. See, the only problem is I'm a big baseball person too, so if we get Rob on here, this could be very non-music related.
Yeah. There you go. We talked about stocks. You guys can talk about sports. There you go.
There you go.
All right. So check it out. I just got to give a big shout out to my team, the 361 Degrees team. If you don't know, we had our independence over the pandemic, and the way that we feed that machine and the way that we take care of our team is through the pre-sale and the merchandise. So go to nonpointstore.com. Yes. Today's the last day for the sale. It ends tonight at midnight. And you'll be able to get a discount on everything. Just put 2 or more stuff into the bin, into your cart. Go to Nonpoint Store. For that, you go to nonpoint.com and you can it'll send you to whatever DFB is your favorite. You can click on it. Make sure that you get your daily dose of Ruthless, and don't forget to follow us on all of our socials and make sure you engage with us. Likes, comments, shares all matter, because then it puts you into our algorithm and then it keeps us connected longer.
Yes.
So make sure you do all of those things.
Okay. I'm going to roll the outro. Quick shout out to our sponsors, Fellowship Brand, Medu to Effect, and SLE Radio. And that's a mop handle coming in. Stick around for 2 seconds and I'll tell you who that was before you go.
No problem.
Thank you guys. It was a good. Thanks for letting me guest host, Elias.
Yes,
it was
thanks,
a
Dusty, for
privilege and an
coming.
honor to meet you, man. I've been a fan for 20 years, so it's awesome. Thank you so much, man. It was great conversation.
Thanks for being here, guys. We'll see you later.
Later, guys.